welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are going to be talking about competition music, how to choose the right piece of music for you. Now, this is a big topic, so I'm just going to be touching on a few different things that hopefully steer you in the right direction. But if you're competing, it usually means that you're working with a coach. And so my first piece of advice is go talk to your coach. They are going to help you go in the right direction. They're going to steer you. They're going to let you know if there's certain parameters that this competition is looking for and help you find the right piece of music. So here in the United States, we have ISI and USFS. And those are two different organizations that we can compete through. And they have different categories that you will sign up for. And some of them are very similar, and you can kind of cross your programs over, and some of them are quite different. So let's start with the US figure skating competition categories. Within US figure skating, there's a lot of different options, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some of them. These are more going to be the showcase competitions. We have technical competition and showcase competition. And for technical competition, I almost don't want to touch on it because each coach has such specific things that they're looking for their skater, and it's going to change so vastly from a very beginner skater who is getting into technical competition versus, some of the elite competing that we see on TV, and all of that is within the technical realm. So within USFS, we have quite a few different categories. We have emotional performance, lyrical pop, character performance, comedic performance, there's themed events, and there's a whole bunch of other ones as well. So let's go over those specifically. So first off, emotional performance. When I was young, this was called dramatic, all right? And they have tried to clarify it a little bit. It's not just dramatic, because dramatic could be a whole range of things. They want it to specifically convey an emotion. So when you are choosing music for an emotional performance, you have to think of what kind of a story you can tell that is going to have a really emotional quality to it. And this usually means something a little bit more serious. Yes, joy and laughter are part of the emotional realm, but emotional performance usually means it's something serious. All right, so you want to listen to some music that usually has a bit of a story arc to it. Often it starts out a little bit softer or quieter or less intense and builds, the drama builds. So by the end, you're doing your biggest movements, you've drawn the audience in, and you're just selling it to them with that drama, that feeling, that emotion, and then you wrap it all up. It's like a movie, okay? You want to think of something like that has a story to it, okay? When I was young, this is going to age me so bad, but when I was young, there was a lot of Celine Dion music out that was very popular. And I skated to I'm Your Lady. I had a young man that I was in love with, and I was like, this is my song for him. Okay, and so I skated to I'm Your Lady, and it was a very emotional performance to the point where I forgot what I was doing my first time because I was so wrapped up in the emotion of it. But I got over that. I skated very well to it eventually. But that would be an emotional performance because you can tell a story through the music that has an emotional quality to it. So let's move on. We have lyrical pop. Okay, this is a new category. It reminds me of what we used to have as light entertainment. We want pop music that has some lyricism to it. So it's very difficult to skate to a lot of modern music because it has a pop feeling, and pop doesn't usually have a skatey feeling. So they've created this category so that skaters can skate to something that is modern and fun and is something people are going to identify with now, more pop music. You still want it to have flow. You still want it to have a bit of a storyline. You don't ever want to be out there skating with no story in your mind that you're telling that audience and the judges. You need to have something that you can convey. So pop, lyrical pop is fun. You can find a more modern pop music that you enjoy skating to, but you still need to think and listen. Does this have flow? Does it have a dynamic range? Does it go from quieter to louder anywhere in it? Is there a story that I can convey at my skill level with this music? All right, so then we have character performance. My favorite character performance I've ever seen was an adult skater, was a female adult skater skating as Charlie Chaplin. And she was completely dressed. She had the mustache, and her movements looked like an old Charlie Chaplin film. And I was just completely captured by this performance. She wasn't out there doing triples or quads or anything, but her character was Charlie Chaplin. So when you're thinking about a character performance, it doesn't have to be dramatic, it doesn't have to be entertaining, it doesn't have to be silly, it needs to be a recognizable character. So this is where it's a little bit of a challenge, because there are characters that we might know, like I might have some character from a story, but it's a little bit ambiguous, right? And we need the judges to know who that character is. So if you pick a character that not very many people know, you might love that program and be very excited about it. But if the judges are scratching their head because they don't know that character, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, you might not do very well because they're like, well, it's a cool performance, but what's the character? Who is that? So pick a character that you can really sell. All right, you can really say, I am Charlie Chaplin. Okay, I am, Shaggy, right, from the Shaggy movies. You pick somebody that you can sell, that the audience is going to recognize, and then you make your movements and your choreography and your costume and your music all tell that character story. Okay, so then we have comedic impressions. So this needs to be, it's similar to character, but you need to have something that's going to make people want to laugh, okay? It's not just entertaining and fun, where we used to have like a lot of Broadway and that kind of thing. You want to make people laugh. Okay, so as an example, a wonderful adult skater at my rink, Kelly, just last season skated as Templeton the Rat from the Charlotte's Web movie. And she was hilarious. She has this big poofy rat costume on. She had the nose. Her skate guards were rat feet with little claws. And she had this popcorn bag. It was like a box, but it looked like one of those striped popcorn bags that was so big she could crawl into it. It was life size. And these huge pieces of popcorn that she was playing with through her program. And her movements looked like a little rat. And she was kind of singing along. And it was so funny. It was such a funny performance. So when we're looking at comedic impressions, it's not just a light, airy, entertaining. It needs to be funny. The music, when you're thinking about the music, you need to think of something that you can do with that music and with that story that's going to make your audience and your judges want to laugh. Okay, and then we have a themed event, and this changes, and so that is going to inform what kind of music you pick. There's been a Taylor Swift theme, and so, find your favorite Taylor Swift song and wear the friendship bracelets and all of that, and that would fulfill that theme. There's an inflatables one that they've done, so, people in like giant inflated like cows and dinosaurs and things like that. So your music would just be something that works with whatever inflatable costume you have chosen to use. Okay, so though there are a lot more categories that USFS has in their showcase competitions, those are just a few of the most popular ones. I want to move over to ISI. So for ISI, they also have quite a few different technical categories. And again, I'm going to leave that to what you and your coach are going to collaborate on. ISI has dramatic. So where USFS has emotional, ISI has dramatic. Okay, and so this is a little bit more broad. Drama can come in a lot of different ways. You can still do that Celine Dion or something like that. I love going to Broadway musicals or that kind of thing and finding those beautiful songs that are gonna give the audience a story again and give them that big crescendo towards the end. Think about finding a piece of music that builds. Okay, so you got to listen all the way through. If the music stays the same, it's not going to be a dramatic song. Do not pick it. You might love the song, but if it doesn't build, it's not going to work for dramatic. I'll just give that as the main character. Dramatic needs a build. Think about it like a roller coaster. You're building up all the excitement, whoosh, and then there's the end of your program. Okay, so dramatic needs build. Then we have light entertainment. Now, if you have comedic impressions from US figure skating, you can carry that over. So light entertainment is going to be something fun. There's usually props of some kind. You have props that can continue to tell your story, and you want this to be something that's just enjoyable to watch. It could be a Broadway, it could be something from a movie that's really entertaining. It doesn't have to be funny, but it does need to make you just grabbed in and carried along for the ride, okay? Now, this doesn't need that same build. It can be entertaining from start to finish. One of my favorite songs that I did for light entertainment was called Cuban Pete. It was from the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and I won every single time. Every single time I competed that, I won. And it doesn't have a big build. It's even all the way through, but it's entertaining, it's fun all the way through. Okay, so you have a different kind of idea for the dramatic and the light entertainment. And then we have character. Now, character is going to be the same for USFS and ISI, so you can use the same program. Then we have a category called artistic, and I love artistic. It's kind of like lyrical pop, where it's more open, so it's an open category. Artistic is about a creative interpretation of the music that you choose. Artistic is where you put a song that you want to skate to, if it's not dramatic and it's not light, but it still has a beautiful lyrical skating quality. You always want your music to have a skating quality. You want it to have some kind of flow to it. If I had a student who was skating to lyrical pop and they wanted to do the same program with ISI, I would put it in artistic. Okay, so artistic is a little bit open, as long as it's something where you can really creatively interpret the music. The last category I want to talk to you about that we have in ISI that I love is called Footwork. It's a short program, it's a minute long, and it's all footwork. You can't do spins more than 3 rotations, you can't do jumps more than half a rotation, so it's all about what you're doing with your feet on the ice. With footwork, you want to pick something that you at your level are going to be able to skate to. If you pick something very, very fast and you're a beginner with your footwork, you're not going to be able to have your feet keep up with your music, right? You want your skating to match the music. So if you're a beginner trying a footwork, you might pick something a little bit more slow. That being said, you want to have a change in pace, because one of the rules in footwork is that we want to see some footwork that's quick and some footwork that's slow and drawn out and dramatic. So you need to listen to music that you're thinking about for footwork and think, are there areas where I could do quick turns, and are there areas where I could do slower turns? Does the music have change to it? Quick, slow, quick, or something like that, so you can show off your big Choctaws and then your twizzles, right? You want space in there for different kinds of footwork within that short 1 minute. So when you're thinking about footwork, think about what would be a challenge, but something I can still skate to. Something that has a beat, something that moves, but has some slower areas so I can take a break for a moment and do some more slow turns. All right, skaters, I hope that that gives you some insight into the different kinds of competitions that there are in both USFS and ISI, at least in the showcase world. And I hope that this gives you some inspiration when you are trying to find music of your own. Again, if you're working with a coach, you want to talk to them, but this maybe can give your thoughts a little head start when you're thinking about music you want to put in your aspirations list. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us that thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to reading all your comments in that section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating! And I'll see you next time.